This is the kind of weather that ski masks actually, I think, were developed for. I mean, other than skiing, of course, but if you're outside standing, yeah, you don't want your skin exposed, Heather.
Absolutely, because the conditions that I'm forecasting for Sunday night into Monday, that's the kind of weather where when you factor in the wind chill, frostbite, 30 minutes, that may be all it takes. So cover up as much skin as you can. Make sure you have good sturdy gloves too. That's the thing. A lot of people wear, the thinner gloves just for driving around. But if you're going to be outside for long periods of time, make sure it's something that's rated for cold that severe, because look at this, Monday's high just 9 degrees. I think we drop below 0 New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. Temperatures earlier this morning across the U.S. 6 in Billings, 6 in North Platte, 4 in Minneapolis. Of course, we dropped to 0 in Buffalo, so give or take a couple of degrees for these numbers. But here's where we are now. Yeah, we didn't really get all that much better, did we? Even down into Texas, low to mid 40s in Dallas and Houston. That's a good 10 degrees cooler than what they're used to as well. And the pattern for the next not just few days, but the next 2 weeks, I think, allows plenty of cold air to keep pouring into the eastern U.S., which of course means the core of it is right here over the Great Lakes and the interior Northeast. Let's talk snow, because we do have a little bit of a round of that coming up Friday into Saturday. Little burst of snow here moving across the southern Great Lakes. I do think most of this stays to the south, but it's what's coming in behind that. Mainly the wind shift that's going to trigger some lake effect snow Friday afternoon through early in the day on Saturday. Overnight, you've seen this a couple of times, 4 degrees the low. Dress nice and warm. It's not going to be too windy as we go into tomorrow, but any moving air when it's already this cold, that just hurts, doesn't it? Winter storm watches for southern Erie County, Cattaraugus and Chautauqua counties. I know it's only been about 24 hours since our last lake effect event, but we could pick up another 10 to 20 inches in the most persistent snow bands, at least in that area. That lake effect doesn't set up until the afternoon. Again, I think Buffalo is mainly exempt, but at times we could get a little burst of snow here downtown. 18 the high on Friday, lower teens Friday night into the day on Saturday. Future look here shows that lake effect band setting up not until later in the day on Friday. I think the morning is okay, but of course if you are heading out to New Era Field, it's not just cold you need to be ready for. It's cold with snow, which means it's going to feel even colder. I think the good news is that it looks like this band moves out fairly quickly, but first couple periods of the game may be a bit snowy. Here's midnight as we go through Friday night into Saturday, that lake effect band shifting to the south. But look at this, 8:30 Saturday morning, maybe a quick little round of snow for Buffalo up towards the north towns. Again, those winter storm watches are for south of the city, but that doesn't mean we're totally out of the woods with snow up to the north. I don't think it's going to be nearly as impactful, though. Bigger snow totals here from southern Erie County through western Chautauqua County. Upwards of 14 inches possible in some places. We could pick up a quick 2 to 4 inches in the city and again into the north towns as well. That would be through the day on Saturday. Coming up this holiday weekend, again, those lake effect bands will ease later in the day on Saturday, but there's another blast of cold air getting ready to move in behind that by the time we get to the day on Sunday. If you are headed out for New Year's Eve, we've said this a few times, and we mean it. Make sure you are dressed appropriately for the weather, multiple layers, cover up all the skin, and yeah, the ski masks. I know they look funny, but they're a good idea, because look at the temperatures here. This will be midnight, so right as the ball drops, at least in Times Square, right when the fireworks are going off, I think we could be even a couple of degrees colder than that, some dropping below 0 as we go into early New Year's Day. Here's a quick look at future look showing widespread snow later Saturday, and then maybe some lake effect developing Sunday into Monday. Yeah, as long as this Arctic air is here and as long as Lake Erie is still open for business, which it may not be for very much longer, we've still got these chances for snow coming up. 7-day forecast, teens, single digits. Mary Alice, it's going to be a cold week ahead.
Oh, that it is. Thank you, Heather.